Ladies and gentlemen, it's Titoclock. So please welcome your host, James Deacon.
Ow! That's me! What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Titoclock, and this is the first one for 2022. And we're back. It's the return of the comeback, as they like to say. And we are all here in full force. We got a big year lined up for you. And we're kicking it off with, of course, the first show, which... We got new backing music. We got new backing music. How is it? How is it coming across? Because it's the first time we're using this backing music. Normally things kind of cut in and out. You know what I mean? I mean, like the audio gets full. So let me know if you're not getting that. If it's working out well. We need your feedback. Let's say hi to the regulars. We've got June Oliva there, Jeff Thomas, Chris Williams, James Mendoza, Angela Laron, Michelle Ann, Al Brian Olmela. Did we lose Mayan? Is Mayan there? It feels so weird if Mayan's not there. Hey Mayan, if you're out there, let us know. Love to, of course, she's been one of the regulars since day one, never missed a show. So it'll be heartbreaking to miss this first one. But anyway, like I said, big show lined up. We've got so much that we're trying to pack in for 1 hour, including where is that? All this stuff. Got all this stuff from Oakley. I'm wearing some of it now. I love it. This is just perfect stuff. I've got my Shiba to the moon. Yeah. It's not Oakley and it's not raffle. This is Read Mine. And this is my retirement fund. Shiba. So, okay, let's kick things off how we normally do. Just get on the same page. So for that, we need to find out what the latest in headlines is. And we need Chris for that. Chris, what you got? Better be good. If it's not, make it up.
Hello, Tito James. Good afternoon and happy Friday, my fellow Tito Clockers. Woohoo! I missed you all. Belated Happy New Year and Happy Valentine's Day. This is Chris for your Tito Clock News. Okta research said today that despite what it earlier saw as a possible Valentine spike in the National Capital Region or NCR and in the Calabarzon provinces, namely Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon, remain at low-risk classification for COVID-19. According to Okta fellow Dr. Guido David, the NCR's positivity rate is at 6%, while healthcare utilization is at 26%. Its reproduction number, meanwhile, is at 0.20, while the average daily attack rate, or ADAR, is at 3.45. Reproduction rate refers to the number of people infected by one case. ADAR, on the other hand, pertains to the incidence showing the average number of new cases in a period per 100,000 people. David said NCR and all Calabarzon provinces have less than 10% positivity rate as of February 15th. Local government units in the Philippines are classified by risks based on virus spread and healthcare utilization. These classifications help government in coming up with policy recommendations in addressing the COVID-19 pandemic. Certain individuals must still keep masking up, even if authorities eventually stop requiring the wearing of face masks, according to an infectious diseases specialist. Dr. Ronjin Solante, a member of the government's vaccine expert panel, added that face masks help bring down the country's COVID-19 infections along with inoculation efforts. Solante said countries not requiring face masks have very high vaccination rates and good healthcare facilities that could address any possible surges resulting from mask-free policies. Dr. Solante warned against lifting the mask mandate soon, given the number of gatherings amid election season, which could lead to cases spiking again. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III earlier said the mask mandate won't be lifted anytime soon. The IATF has yet to discuss the matter with experts, stressing that the mandate's eventual removal should be done gradually. The government began requiring the wearing of face masks earlier into the pandemic in 2020. More than 200 priests joined the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Manila or RCAM clergy on Thursday in an alay lakad or penitential walk from Manila Cathedral to the shrine of Nuestra Señora de Guia in Ermita to pray for the Filipino voters as they choose the next leaders in the May elections. The liturgical activity was conducted to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the martyrdom of Fathers Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, collectively known as Gumburza. The three diocesan priests were publicly executed in Luneta after being framed by the Spanish colonial government in 1872 for allegedly committing treason and sedition. The Manila Archdiocese underscored that every Christian is duty bound to participate in creating and renewing the nation, giving the best of ourselves in the service of common good. According to RCAM spokesperson Father Reginald Malikdem, the penitential walk was overall a good experience as the priests endured the rain while walking from Manila Cathedral to the execution site in Luneta. The New York Times reported on Thursday that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences will require attendees of the 94th Oscars to show proof of vaccination against the coronavirus and at least 2 negative PCR tests. According to an Academy spokeswoman, performers and presenters are required to undergo severe testing but will not need to show proof of vaccination. Face covering requirements will also vary at the award show, which will be held on March 27th. Nominees and their guests will be seated in the orchestra and parterre areas of the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles and will not be required to wear masks, according to the newspaper. NYT said those seated in the mezzanine may be required to wear masks as they will sit shoulder to shoulder. Hosts of the awards are comic actor Amy Schumer, actress Regina Hall, and fellow comedian Wanda Sykes, the first time 3 women will MC the Oscars. Representatives of the Academy did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. That was the latest in headlines for Titoclock. Let's brace ourselves, everyone. It's time to have a look at the Kamote Corner. I
Love
know
it.
you're never ready for
I love
this.
it. I love it. Sound effects na. What's up, Chris? I
Diba?
missed ya.
I missed you too, Tito James. How was the Dubai
Yeah,
trip?
all
My
right. Have the
goodness.
camotes gotten any better since I've been gone? Have they been
Um,
behaving? Are they diluted? Are they less sweet potatoes? Or what's going on?
I am glad to tell you that absolutely not. They
Ah!
never change.
Oh man. Oh
All
no.
right.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna take something and then there we go. A little sedative.
There we go.
Bring it on.
There we go. There we go. First up, we have a surprise.
There we go. Mm-hmm. Right.
Diba?
Bulaga.
Bulaga.
Yeah, look at this air. Oh my god. This one even gives Camotes a bad name, you know. That's just awful.
True.
You don't do that in a blind corner, by the way, folks. You know, nothing to laugh at here. That's just completely that's Camote level at its probably in its highest form.
999999999.
Yeah, yeah.
Kamote
999.
level
Just be
9999999.
Come on, man. Blind corner.
All right.
All right. I know we got plenty to go through, so I'm pacing myself.
There's more. Just wait. There's more.
But wait.
Next up, we have Bright. Bright as in not the brain.
Turn around, bright eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. Ay, nako, these guys. So, every day we get something like this. The trucks, I know why they have this. They're supposed to have this because, well, they need to see down to their undercarriage. But obviously, this is not aligned properly. If it's giving the glare to the drivers, the light has not been angled down correctly. So yes, they do have a reverse spotlight that's operating even when they're not in reverse, but it needs to face down. This is obviously glaring. So, and then you get those camotes copying it in their pickups and their 4-wheel drives and trying to be cool, and then it's a free for all later for everybody. But this is so inconsiderate. Grabe.
True. All right. Ready for the next one? It's
Yay.
called House on the Road.
House on the road.
House on the
Our
road. Not
house
sure if it's really a house or
in
maybe
the
a
middle of
guardhouse.
our house.
Mm.
In the
On the
middle of
road.
it. Yeah, it just looks like it just kind of grew, right? I mean, from
Mm.
I don't know, probably
From a
it's selling
seed.
green for one day, and before you know it, it's an Airbnb.
So
These
siya.
things mutate. You turn your back long enough, say, "Oi, since when?" But yeah, that's clearly on public property. Clearly not supposed to be like that. But hell, where do we start? Where- I've run out already. I've run out of things to say about these guys. Michael says he
We
loves
always
Jack.
see it everywhere, di ba?
Yeah, well,
Buti
yeah,
hindi
we
sila
see this. It's
napapenalty.
not a permanent structure like this. We see the tarps or the tents that usually
True,
are
yes.
so, and then they just keep sort of extending, and before you know it, yeah, it's an alfresco dining area that they're charging for. So this is why you really gotta nip things in the bud. This is why I'm always sometimes a little pedantic when it comes to rule breaking and stuff like this. I really start getting a little bit wired early because if you let it go, this is what happens. This is why I put my foot down with stupidities like when they ask us to do stupid things for COVID and stuff like that, because I can see where it goes. This is just how human nature is and how we are over here. They'll see how far they can go. Walang pushback. They just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. So you gotta call
Yes.
these things out early, otherwise we end up like this.
Absolutely. Hello, kung kanino ka man kumakaway, Tito.
Yeah, well, X is taking proof of life videos. It's been a month
All
or
right.
so. She's sitting in this
Yes,
chair. She's
indeed. Everybody missed you, Tito James.
oh,
Oh. All right.
okay,
We're
wait.
ready for the next one. We're halfway there, Tito James. Next is called Paano Na?
Ano na?
Paano na? Like,
Ano naman to?
paano ba to?
Oh my God. This is like the Limbo Rock PWD version. Tanan,
Yeah.
tan, tan, tanan,
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 tan, tan,
tanan,
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 tanan.
tanan. Oh wow. Okay. Bigyan ng jacket yan.
Oh, yeah.
I
Ay,
tell ya.
nako.
Okay, next.
Next,
See, I'm
we
so
have
patient.
a swap. We have two more. So, this is second to the last, called the swap. So, sabi sa caption, there's a caption there that says, nagkapalit ang bus and the motorcycles.
Do you see how Chris faces me as well? Second to the last. It's like when you're feeding a child food it doesn't want. Well, last na last. Second to the last. Choo-choo, here it comes. Here it comes.
Oh, yeah. I've gotten used
Just
to
me with my
kids so much.
Hey, no, but I don't want to see another kamote. I can't take it.
buhay.
I've been a month in a way in another country where they don't have kamotes. It's not. It's hard. It's hard to watch. Let's go. Let's try.
All right. Last but not the least, it's called Accented Yarn.
Okay.
Napapaheadbanging ako sa
Uy.
music nyo. Yes!
Nagbago.
Accepted yarn.
All right.
Nagbago na.
Free as a bird, man. Free as a bird. You do you.
Free indeed.
All right.
All right. Woo!
All right.
And you made it, Tito James! And once again, welcome back to Titoclock. Thank you, Tito James. That's all for today. May we all have a be awesome weekend. Congratulations to our raffle winners and avoid kamote people, but always choose happiness with some sugar rush. Don't forget to follow me on my social medias. And of course, advance happy birthday to my auntie Oliva and my best friend Rodel. Remember to stay safe, healthy, and hydrated. This is Chris. See you guys. Bye, everybody. Bye, Tito. Mwah!
Bye, Chris. Always nice having Chris's chirpy voice on the air. She actually makes the news less depressing, doesn't she? You know, and that's why I said earlier, you know, hey, if you got no good news, just make it up, because that's what the mainstream media does anyway. They just make up their own stuff. Don't be fooled. Yeah, that was a burn. Anyway, we're back, and we've got a. That's right. I knew there was something we missed. It's everybody's favorite segment. It's where we support local communities by giving them a little bit of, I don't know, some plugs for free. We call it Free Plug Friday. This is how it works. We need X. X, what you got in the box there, X?
Yes, we actually have a lot in store for 2022. But before we go there, I just want to say hi to all Titoclockers. Welcome to another edition of Fridays. We return to Fix your eyes on the screen, DJ. What? Okay. DJs. Let's start our first ever Free Plug Friday for 2022 with something homey since you just flew back. Yes, James. So Home Suite offers affordable yet elegantly crafted metal tube based furniture. So some of the items they offer are loft beds, sofa bed, bunk bed, salad sets, futon, bunk beds, folding bed, all kinds of beds, and even full size beds. And it's perfect since the size is kind of small. So it's perfect for those living in small spaces like condominiums, etc., or apartments. So they also offer dining and home accessories as well. Hope you can check them out. Home Suite on Facebook, Instagram, and their website for more list of items and the prices as well. Next, we go to Sciatica Guard. So, Tita Jane, I noticed that you've been having some aches on your back. You got back, right? Naturally. So, here's another product that might do you wonders. So, Sciatica Guard is actually an adjustable orthopedic seat pad that can help alleviate the pain caused by prolonged sitting, like after that long haul trip we just experienced. So how does it feel, Tito James, how you're sitting on it?
Yeah, I'm actually saying it right now. I like it. It seems to be removing some pressure off the lower back, which is where it hurts a lot. I could have used this on the blight,
Oh yeah.
you know. But anyway, for next one, it does seem to help. I've only been sitting on it for a few minutes, so I can tell you more next week when it's still in a week.
That's fair. That's fair. Saying. And Tito James, like you said, you wish you brought it with you. And actually, the good thing about it is it's not only adjustable, ergonomic, but it's also portable because it comes with these handles that you can use to carry it on you. And I tried it myself on one of the chairs on the dining area, and it felt firm in a good way. So I also have to try it more for like a longer period of time. And of course, the purpose of these is to transfer the weight from the sit bone to the hip bone, which frees up the pressure from the perineum area where the sensitive nerves are located. So there are other benefits to it as well. So hope you can check them out. Sciatica Guard on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we go to Aquamile. So Tito James, Aquamile offers premium giant betta fish in our country, which actually started out as a hobby. So that's pretty cool, right? Aquamile actually imports their betta directly from Thailand, so you can expect good quality as seen on these photos. But Tito James, do you know what's cooler than just seeing photos? These folks from Aquaman are giving away one giant betta worth 3,500 plus a 2.5 gallon tank. So, DJ, what should they leave down below? Emoji, what emoji?
Bank card, MasterCard, Visa numbers. No. Just put your hand up with a little. Yeah, it's your hand. A fish emoji is always good. Yeah, nothing fishy over here. Yeah.
For the price range is between anywhere from 2,000 pesos to 6,500 pesos, with the sizes ranging anywhere from 5 centimeters to 7 centimeters. Again, Aquamile on Facebook and TikTok. Next, we go to Emile Brass Archer. So Emile actually started his craft since 1993, since he was in high school, since it became, because of the influence, of course, of his father. So now he's actually a returning OFW who just began and restarted everything last August. So anyway, just look at these artworks. So they're so,
Wow.
imagine
Wow.
that. Very
This is a returning OFW.
Yes, just last August.
Oh man.
He's actually been doing this since 1993, but you know,
But this has not been his main source of work, right? This has been something he's branching out of,
Yes.
meaning like branching out of being an OFW and
Yeah.
something into his passion.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
oh, that's great. That's a great story. And you know what? I met with so many kabayans over in my trip in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and these people, OFWs, I understand how hard they work and sacrifice and take. So you're always happy to support anything that these guys do.
Awesome, guys. So price actually varies depending on the design. So again, I hope that we can all support local. So hope you can check them out. Emile Grassworks on Facebook and YouTube. Last but not least, we have Supplies Enterprise Emile. So her moms, Anna and Gemma, sent over these wonderful gift boxes with an assortment of treats and toys for fur babies. So they sent over to James a Christmas themed box. Okay, confession. Rocket actually received it for Christmas, but the wait list was so long that they only got their schedule today. So thank you guys for waiting. So anyway, the gift box that Rocket received had a pumpkin liver, two toys, and a cute little bow. And the good news is to clockers, for those who want to give some to any of their fur babies or friends who have fur babies, you can actually customize these gift boxes according to your preference. And the prices of each accessories start at 100 pesos. So hope you can check it out and support these fellow fur moms. Supplies Enterprise Seminal on Facebook and Instagram. Well, that's all we have for this week's edition of Freedom Running. Stay safe and always sanitize this 2022 people fuckers. This is X. Be safe. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks for that, X. And that's Free Plug Friday. That's where we do a little bit of tiny little program just to help out the local businesses. If you're a small business, you got to be small, okay? You got to be like a mom and a pop, somebody trying to pivot. We don't need to, obviously, if you're a big brand, you got budget. It's for the people who don't. Come over, send us a message on Deaconitis on Instagram, and we'll put you into the queue. There's a little bit of a wait, but, sometimes people pull out and, or we don't, we have an opening and you never know, right? So just pop a message over. X will take care of the rest. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Oh, I'm getting echo. Oh, never mind. I can deal with this. All right. So now is the we have a little portion here where we're going to do what Ask Me Anything. All right. So fire away. I'm going to get comfy over here. Let's keep it clean. Keep my feet up. All right. What we got there, X? Tita James, what should I do if I'm running a flat tire on a highway? Wow. Okay. Here we go. You got to pull over, right? That's the most important thing. Now, there are slow leaks and there are blowouts. So if you get a slow leak, you should feel your car sort of veering already. If you get a blowout, that's the more dangerous one because you could lose control of your car. So either way, make sure that you safely pull over. So you always just check for traffic first and pull over to the side of the road. You don't want to run that tire for any longer than you really absolutely have to, because obviously without the air in the tire, it's going to be folded, right? That fold will create a tear on the sidewall. Now you can fix the tires. You can do almost only that vulcanizing, almost. But what you can't do is you can't fix the sidewalls of tires. It's never a good idea to try to vulcanize the side walls of a tire. When you squash the tire down with no air and you're running on it, that's eventually going to break the sidewall, and that's very, very dangerous. So pull over as soon as you can and get yourself into a safe spot, and then change your tire or call you have a membership. You can do that as well. Most of the expressways do have some kind of roadside assistance, but always bring a jack in your car and always make sure your spare is fully pumped up. Right, so there we go. Do we have any more? Come on. Well, let's ask another one. Let's do one live then. All right. What's the question? Why aren't you running for the Senate? Oh, come on, please. We've been through this. It's. Oh, where do I begin? All right. I've covered this question quite a few times. I feel that, and this is being honest now, I just think that politics is not always the most effective ways to get things done. I know it appears that way because you're in a lawmaking body, a legislation body, etc. But their politics, by its very nature, is very divisive. I believe we can also get things done outside of politics, but we need to be united in that. This is why I never talk politics on the stage. I never ever show colors, because once you put a color to it, people bring ideology into it, and then they start to get divided simply just because it's from this camp or that camp. They won't believe you or they won't want to support you. So I try to keep to the issues, and the only way I can do that is staying away from politics. So I put all my energy into this community, because I believe that with like-minded people, we can do even more than those people over there do. Another thing is we can shine a light on those people that we elected. You also need good people in media, traditional and non-traditional media, to be able to keep that light shining on them so that they don't do anything really stupid, or at least they know that we're watching. That's also why I choose to stay in this lane. My personality is not cut out for it. I know that there's a lot of game playing in politics. You could have the very best intention. You could be a very, very good person, incorruptible. But let's just say all of that was already a given. You're still going to have to deal with the inefficiencies of a system like that. So I just try to work with my strengths and weaknesses, and I'm honest about what those are. And I don't have the personality for politics. That's why I choose to stay here. Hope that answers your question. All right. Come on, let's have another one. What's this? Tito, I'm a pack rat. What are your top stuff to bring on long drives for vacation? I'm a super light. I don't know what a pack rat is. Does that mean you pack a lot? Would that is that some fair assumption that you like packing? Because I hate packing. I really don't like packing. So what? Okay, so pack rat, pack heavy. Personally, I'm the opposite. I pack light because, all you really need for me in a long drive is you need your car. You need a good set of music, which you have on your phone now. So it's got to have a nice Bluetooth connectivity. I'm not too fussed on everything else. I don't stress out about what kind of clothes I'm going to bring. I'll just bring the bare minimum, the bare basics. I don't like to spend too much time on that. I just like to go with the flow, because I believe travel is how you react along the way to the things that happen to you, not necessarily planning everything out. That's just my way of traveling. I just like to experience it. So I do a basic itinerary, super basic, where I'm going to stay, maybe some highlights of what I'm going to do, but I allow more for just exploring and letting things unfold, because I like to watch how life is. Sometimes I get more out of just sitting on a park bench or just sitting on a city street sidewalk cafe or something like that, watching life go by, than I do going to a museum or a tour or something like that. And of course, if you can bring the special somebody with you, somebody to share it with, well, that makes it all the more worthwhile. Because what is an experience like that if it's not shared? There you go. What's the EV structure like in Dubai? Oh, wow. How long do you think it'll take for PH to catch up? Very, very good, timely question, because we did the Audi e-tron launch today, right? So that was the same car that I drove in Dubai, and now they've launched it here locally. And I had the car for about 10 days. Now, I can tell you this, right? The infrastructure is absolutely sensational over there. Almost every single mall that I went to, and keep in mind I'm staying kind of in the heart of Dubai, so I don't know what it's like if you go really quite out. But in the heart of Dubai, all the major city centers, etc., all those major malls had EV parking. Sometimes they are full, like the Dubai Mall was full one time, because I guess a lot of people go there. So you still have to have that backup in your house. I wouldn't buy an EV car solely relying on what was on the infrastructure outside. But if you have your charger coming in, you bought your charger, it comes in the car, you're going to be fine. Because you watch a movie, plug the car in, 4 hours later you're out, you've probably got about another 60% charge, 50% charge on top of what you had. So it's really, and it's free. It's absolutely free. I couldn't get my mind around it. I really couldn't. All these spots that I went to, not once did I have to pay. I was given a card by Audi that I could use, and that had their account on it, etc. I never once used it. I just plugged into different places, and you could use the app. And that's how I found all these places. You just use the app, and then you say, where's the nearest green plug, type 2, and it just takes you there. And you'll see how many there are out there. It's really, really, really geared up. And this is the crucial part about having EVs, right? Is you need that government support, you need the infrastructure. Without that, people are always going to be hesitant if you've got what you call range anxiety. I had a very little brief bit of it over there because I didn't have a wall charger. I was staying in like hotels and Airbnbs and stuff like that. So, I couldn't just plug into a normal socket. It did come with a cord, but like I said, these are common areas, so I couldn't just plug it in. Even if I plugged straight into the wall, it would take something like 40 hours or something ridiculous like that, straight to a wall socket. So it's kind of pointless. But I still made it. You get 400 kilometers on a full tank, so to speak, and that's plenty, especially if you're charging every day. So there you go. What are my thoughts about the continuous gas price increase? Get used to it, sadly, because this has been a result of it's inflation. It's basic inflation, and this is happening at the level of, well, it's a far deeper level than what we've got just happening locally, right? The Feds over in the United States have basically debased the currency already, and it's starting to show. So if anyone's been following the monetary system, with the United States is our reserve currency, or the global reserve currency. All basic transactions or commodities are traded in US dollars, including the petrodollar, which is gasoline. So when you debase your own currency by printing and printing and printing, when I say printing, it's not physical printing anymore, it's just adding digits to a bank account. This is what the Fed's been doing. They've added about $6 trillion to their national debt based on nothing. There's no GDP to back that up. So the short story here is you have money getting debased, you have nothing being based on GDP, so it's a false economy. Eventually, those symptoms are going to turn into and manifest into what we now see as inflation. Then you have a supply chain issue as well. So this, sadly, is where we're going to keep getting hit by this. We don't control the dollar prices, or we don't control the oil prices. The simple answer to all of this is, well, if they could price this in some kind of crypto, ideally Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's still also volatile. But this is the only way you're going to start getting some decency and stability in gas prices, is when we can have stability with actual money. And there's no stability in the US dollar right now. So that's why you're experiencing all of this. What do you think of Joe Rogan? Do you listen to his podcast? Well, it came up. It's a real question. Of course I do. Huh? Have we met? Have we met? Yes, to the point where I'm almost getting canceled almost every day. This is one of the biggest problems X and I have. Is stop talking about Joe Rogan and freedom. I can't help it. I love the guy. I love the guy because I've been listening to him since at least 12 years now. I've followed all of his podcasts. He's a very sensible, he's a very pragmatic and agenda-free broadcaster that asks questions that's pretty much in everybody's mind. These are, what I really like about him is he does not propose or present himself to be the expert. What he does is he brings the experts in and he asks them questions. Sometimes he gets it wrong, but he's the first to admit when he does get it wrong. He doesn't have agenda. So therefore, he takes on both sides. In this case, he took on Sanjay Gupta and he took on Robert Malone and Peter McCullough. So he's taking on the complete opposite sides of the narrative. There's nothing wrong with that. Be afraid of the broadcaster that only chooses one side. Okay? This is what they don't tell you. With somebody like Joe Rogan, I fully support, because I think that even if I disagreed with the guy, which I don't, but even if I did, and then there are times it does make mistakes, the censoring a person is not the answer to that, because it shows that you're not trying to broaden your information, you're trying to silence it. That's all you're trying to do. Now, when you also stop a person from speaking simply because you don't agree with them, it doesn't stop the person from thinking it. Wouldn't you rather know what's on the person's mind? That's what free speech is about. Free speech is not necessarily hearing what you want to hear, or people, saying what they want to say unaccountable. You are accountable for what you say. But if it's just a difference of opinion and it's not really slanderous or anything like that, let the guy say what he wants. Let the guy make mistakes, because the other side are making mistakes too. So they blame him for saying, oh, it's misinformation. Really? So much that they have actually had as the official word from the WHO and CDC and all these other entities and institutions have proven to be wrong. How many? I don't even want to get into it right now. But the thing is, when you're presented with new information, that hallmark of a professional and a mature person is to reform your opinion around that new information. Sometimes we get doubled down. People double down when they're wrong because they just pride now. So this is why I like and support totally Joe Rogan. And I think everyone should listen to him first before you make an opinion. Because I find everyone that I've spoken to that's been against him, I've never listened to a single podcast. They're just getting sound bites of the mainstream media. And guess what? The mainstream media are the ones the most to lose by Joe Rogan. So just follow the money, follow the incentives, and you'll find the truth. Protocols aside, how different traveling now compared to pre-pandemic, and when will we see you hitting the club gyms, Sir James. Okay. Lloyd, how different now? It is, well, on the Philippine side, it's very different. There's still way too much we need to do, in my opinion. I'll just speak only from my opinion. There's too much theater surrounding it still. There's still too much chaos and panic and unnecessary redundant things that we keep adding on to it. When I got out of the country and I landed, it's not that bad. Because when I got to Dubai, I was very worried about what was going to happen there because I had to travel in the pandemic. When I landed there, they said you need an RT-PCR when you land, before you even clear passport control. I was like, how is this going to happen? Because it took me 48 hours to get my rushed one before, and that cost me 4,100 pesos. And I had to line up for 3 hours for that one. I was thinking, how on earth are we going to do this? I've already landed with my bags and everything. Well, it took less than 3 minutes, the whole thing. They have countless check-in counters there, which are all now COVID testing counters. It is this quick. They stick the RT-PCR up your nose this far, not this far, the way they do it here, all the way up, which I like to say they're trying to change your mind manually because it feels like that. They stick it in there and they start turning it and stuff. Parang tinitimpla ng kape dyan sa ulo mo. So this one, they just put just a little bit here, very tolerable. Within 30 seconds, they put it into the little swab, they put the little QR code on it, and then you just walk off. 2 hours later, you get an SMS. You're already outside the airport. If you're positive, they just suggest and tell you you should isolate, but they don't come and get you. They trust you. So to break up your question, traveling outside the Philippines has been seamless. It's just one small layer, just one more small layer, that's it. Getting PCR tests in Dubai and Abu Dhabi are reasonable. You can get them at they have all these different clinics out there, and they're far cheaper. In the airport, they were free, 100% free. So there's still a lot of places you can get for free. But if you're going to travel for leisure, etc., you want to get it 2 days before, that's another thing. They give you 72 hours. Philippines only allows 48. So there's these inconsistencies, and we're all human, right? So I don't see why we should have inconsistencies with these types of policies. I think if they can do it over there, we can do it over here. When I got back, and brace yourselves because there might be a little bit of a rant here. When I got back to Manila, now I went through to Abu Dhabi, so I traveled through to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Armenia, and then I had to go back as well. So we went through all these airports again. Now, even in Armenia, which is not as developed as the Philippines, it's actually less than this, right? That was just seamless too, perfectly seamless. There's no fuss. You know, it's like one more step and that's it. I went to a clinic. Again, I paid something like, I think it was the equivalent of about $600. I got the results 9 hours later. Again, sent to my email. Then they stick it on the passport, a QR code. That's what you give to the immigration. They scan that. It's already in there. No problem at all. When I got to the travel to Manila, right? So from Dubai, taking the final stretch to Manila, this is where the nightmare began. It began because when I first checked in, it was already a much longer process because of this One Health Pass. This is for a Philippine government initiative. So they needed the One Health Pass at check-in. All right. So I gave the One Health check-in pass. Everything was done there at the register and all that. So it took a little longer, but it was done. When I got to the boarding line, now boarding takes normally 30 minutes, right? Even for an A380, it might take 45 minutes. But this was just a 777. It took us over 2 hours to board the flight. Why? Because every single person that gets onto that plane, right before they get in, the last step they take is they have to check the One Health Pass again. So each passenger was checked for the One Health Pass. We all got in. 2 hours later, we take off, right? So it was already delayed because of the extra step. When we got off, when we landed in Manila, we got off the plane in the air bridge. So from the time they opened the plane door, in that air bridge that connects you to the terminal, everybody was stopped in that air bridge and checked again for the One Health Pass. I don't know what they expected to happen up there. Like, how did we go all of a sudden? How did anyone escape from the airplane mid-flight? Because they checked us just as we got on the plane, and the first thing as we got off. Everyone was sheeped in or herded in, and then we were all checked. We were in this unair-conditioned, uncirculated room or fridge, So if I was going to get COVID, I felt it was going to be from there. We went and spent some time doing that, and then we were herded out into the corridor, and then we were stopped again. There was no discussion about why, but we were there for about 30 minutes, and they were brought to another area. And we kept there for about 30 minutes, and then we were brought to another area. And we were kept there for about another 30 minutes, and then brought to another area. And then eventually we were allowed to go through, and guess what they were checking for again? The One Health Pass again. So that 2-hour thing was just to check your One Health Pass another 2 times before you got to the passport control. So when I finally got the passport control, 2 hours plus had gone by since I left the airplane, and I was already like, okay, on my final stamp, got in, everything was fine, went to get my bags. Before I got my bags, they herded us again, stop. Why? One more One Health Pass check. So that was the ordeal coming back. And this actually brings me to a point I wanted to bring up. It's not about ranting. I don't want to turn this into anything where we're being negative or we're trying to just bitch about things. Let's make this productive. This is just an observation of how we can possibly get ahead, or we can go several steps behind. The reason I frame it this way is because after you travel to countries like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and even Armenia, you tend to see things the way the world is handling this pandemic response. Everybody is divided now. You see all these people are taking 2 routes now. You see the Nordic countries, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, all of them just scrapping it 100%. 0 mandates, no passport, no masks, nothing. UK also did that. Abu Dhabi and Dubai still retain the masks, but everything else is open. If you wear your mask, that's it. You don't have any problems at all. What we're doing here is we're just adding layers on top of it. So we're creating an industry around it. And this is what worries me a lot. It's because when you create an industry around it, you build dependency on it, meaning now people have jobs around it. Just like after 9/11 and after the terrorist scares, we never got rid of the mall security guards with a wooden stick and a mirror under the car. Well, the only time we got rid of that was by replacing them with the temperature guns and all the medical theater that we go through. Do you see how that happened? There was no more threat anymore. 21 years have gone since 9/11, or 20 years if you go before the pandemic, and we were still using the same theater. Take off your shoes, the gels, the liquids on the plane, etc., etc. All of a sudden, that's not important. It's now medical theater, where we have to do all these little things, wear this, wear that, temperature control, fill out the QR form, etc. But they're building an industry around it. This is where they need to get their ROI. But they're going to do that at the expense of the country, because this is a pivotal point where the countries that are moving forward are going to be able to leapfrog countries like us who are going backward. And that's my concern. My concern is about how we're going to compete later on the global stage when we're missing this vital opportunity, when our competitors around the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Europe, etc., are all using this opportunity to leapfrog. It's the same analogy I always use when you're in racing, because I understand cars and I love cars. In racing, you have the safety car period. There's chaos, an accident happens, and that's when the lower teams have a chance to get a bit of a head start, right? Because once things go back to normal, it's going to be Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, blah, blah, blah. The system, it'll just go down the same pecking order. You need something like this to be able to get an advantage, but we're using it now to our disadvantage because we're adding so many unnecessary layers to this problem. The last thing I'm going to say about this is I traveled throughout the entire time in Armenia without wearing a mask once. Nobody wore a mask there. You were the odd one out if you wore a mask. I'm talking restaurants, I'm talking hotels, I'm talking public transportation, everywhere. Life is normal. It's like they didn't get the memo. Yes, they've dealt with COVID already and stuff like that, but as if you were landed there now, you would think they never got the memo and they never experienced pandemic. They just walk about and do their normal stuff. I didn't get it. I didn't get anything. So it goes to show that the virus has already mutated down into a stage where I don't think these lockdowns, I'm not saying we get rid of everything. I'm sure there are some things that we still probably need to have, but you got to adapt when the situation changes. If you don't adapt and you just lock into what the things were in 2020, we're never going to move ahead. We're going to be stuck there in 2020 while everybody else is moving forward into 2022 and beyond. So that's my 2 cents on the whole thing. I really think that there's a lot more to be done to make it efficient and to make us again competitive on the global scale, because tourism is getting a hammering over here. I can't think of anyone who's going to want to travel under those conditions. This is my home. I'm willing to put up with it because it's home. But I can't see any other tourists or foreigners coming over here and going, yeah, that was worthwhile being stuck there for 2.5 hours just to get from the plane to your passport control. That's just unreasonable. It's just unacceptable. And we can say what we like, but we're going to lose out in the meantime because other countries are doing it different and they're going to get ahead. So there we go. That's my 2 cents. Anything else there, X? You got more than you bargained for, huh? That section was brought to you by Motolite, except the controversial one. Pang Matagala, all right? Actually, they were really only the car-related ones. All opinions expressed, hobbling disclaimer, are the opinions of the host and Rocket. That's it. Thanks, Ferdy. Says, very good opinion. I totally agree with what you've said. Look, I'm not trying to fight anybody. I'm not trying to create any, I know how sensitive these topics are, but if you don't speak up and you don't push back when it's blatantly obvious, like I did with face shields and QR codes, etc., I've never really spoken up about masks, because I do see some value to it. I mean, it's so fine. It's not like I'm anti everything. I'm just anti the things that just are plainly, clearly do not work, and they're just adding burden to the Filipino people. So I hope everyone takes it with the same grain of salt. Understand that we're just here to push forward, and we will get through this. We'll survive it. Now, I think the only thing we need to survive is, are you ready? Do we have music for this one? It's everybody's absolute favorite time. It is raffle time! What happened to our raffle music? What did you do to our raffle music? Huh? What did you do? It sounds so sickly. Wow, 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 wow. All right, rocket ship on the rocket ship. Okay, we can take the graphic off. All right, here we go. Okay, Rocket is ready. He's all geared up. Come on, Rocket. Look up at me. Greet everybody. There you go. Say hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. I got booties on. This is why the local dogs in my neighborhood beat me up. All right, there you go. All right, Rocket. You've been fed in advance, okay? Your music is wearing a face shield.
Your music is wearing a face shield.
Oh! Oh, by the way, if Vince is still tuned in, Vince Pornelos, happy birthday, my man. Vince from Auto Industria. Hope you're still tuned in. I saw your name pop up. I hope you're having a good one as well. That was Brent saying that our music has a face shield. What do you mean by that? Ah, okay. Yeah, that was another thing I had to get used to. Coming back and speaking to people with in a restaurant. We were in a restaurant yesterday, and the waiter has a face shield and a mask, and it's like they should come with subtitles now. They really need to have these subtitles, like these LED subtitles. I couldn't understand the word. It was like, yeah, whatever. Rocket's eating without working. We better do something. Okay, Rocket. This one you have to pay for it. Okay, ready? This is the Back on Track with Intercare. The one thing I missed probably the most non-human thing I missed the most. Yeah, I miss humans and animals. But the most non-human thing I missed the most was my back care from Intercare, because after spending all that time on flights and tour buses and racetracks and stuff like that, my back started playing up again. So Rocket, do your thing. Your fall. Ready, Rocket? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hey, it looks like they've upgraded the software for this phone. They did? I did get a message while I was there. It really looks nice. Yeah, it doesn't look so 80s and Batman level. Good job. Thank you so much. Thanks. So, guys, for those of you who won the Intercare thing, send Rocket a message. He'll verify it, and then we will hook you up with Intercare. Really, honestly, these guys, even not just because they're sponsoring this segment, I can honestly say, and I wouldn't say this about anything medical, it's how important it is to your health, etc. So I wouldn't make this up. I've been going around to them for about 8 years, on and off. Not every, like first time I went there was about 8 years ago. They fixed me in something that I had a botched thing before by somebody else, and they fixed me, and that lasted about 6 or 7 years, and then I just started going back to them again because I did a lower back injury and stuff like that, and they're really good. They're really, really good. They really, it makes sense. If you don't know anything about chiropractor stuff, just Google it, do some of your own research, but I really highly recommend these guys, and they're great people, and it's a great natural form of fixing yourself. They don't prescribe any drugs or anything like this, which I really like. I'm very anti, the last thing I like to take is any pharmaceuticals, if I can avoid it. All right, so we got the next one. Sarah's claiming it. Come on, Oakley. Everyone's manifesting. Everyone's trying to visualize it. I understand the power of visualization. Very important. Rochad said, thank you for the wisdom. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad that you got something out of it. Rocket. First here. I saw one of his brothers over there. Up job. Woo! This is for the black one. This one got more, right? A lot more people seem to like the green one. Oh! Even Rocket's gonna read it. I cannot read that, but it looks like a Japanese thing. It's pretty good Japanese. The one who's got the Japanese characters, I think it was Japanese. All right, congratulations to our winners, the Oakley winners, the Intercare back care winners, and of course the winner of Rocket. He's getting raffled off now. Press your own button. Oh, he doesn't want to press. He's like, I don't want to be raffled off. Okay, fine, Rocket. So that brings us to the end of our show. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I hope you definitely got a little bit out of the monologue today. That was a bit unplanned, but hey, somebody asked. So I look fresh and energized. Thanks, Arnell. I feel fresh and energized. And this is another point that I can probably end on. Thanks for sort of segueing into it, Arnell. Is because I would highly recommend, as painful as the process was, because it wasn't easy coming back and it wasn't easier getting over there, I still would highly recommend it to anyone who has the means. Trust me on this. If you're feeling any cabin fever, get out. Please do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for the love of country. The reason I say for love of country is because if you're getting cabin fever and you're locked up in this bubble, it's easy to lose love already for, because you think the whole world's like this. It's not. It is so not. I'm telling you, once you step outside these shores, you're going to realize that everyone has a different way of handling it. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're more irresponsible, dangerous, have higher cases. No, they're adapting to the situation. It means life can go on. You just have to have the minimum amount of protocols and you can live life. It will do wonders for you. It'll do wonders for your mental health. It'll do wonders for your emotional well-being, just to be able to go out there and experience what it's like to live free again, to see people on the street. I thought I'd be a little worried when I saw maskless people because I thought it's been 2 years. It should give me a fright. Instead, it gave me hope. It gave me joy because I was finally able to see the smiles on people's faces. It's been that long since I've seen random faces of strangers smiling back at you. That hasn't happened for 2 years for me. So if you haven't had that as well, it's time to go to another country. If you can, to just experience what it's like. It'll give you renewed hope. And then, of course, you can come back later on and you feel as refreshed and as calm as I am now. I have to say, just before I left, I was very, very wired, very, very triggered. And it was going to have a detrimental effect on everything I did already. And that's not something I want to pass across onto this page. it's not something I want to pass across to you. We as a team have always tried to make this something that always produces some positive vibes and pushes forward. I don't want to be that person that's complaining. I don't want to be the cancer of society or being that voice that's just always about ranting. And I was starting to get there. That's why I needed to take a break, and I'm so glad I did. And I was able to get some work done as well while I was there. So it made a perfect situation for me and for the rest of the team. So I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad that you're all back here with us. Thank you very much. Tune in again next Friday. Till then, stay safe, everyone.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Fancy meeting you in my internet. Couldn't help but notice your smile, while everybody else around us is surfing about. Can we just stop and chat a while? Get away from these gray and boring, lonesome days of our quarantine. Early yet to say what lies ahead. It's just the first day of the rest of our lives. Love could be waiting at the end of this quarantine. Let's stop and talk a while. Let's stop and talk a while.